Back when I was just a young lad, me and my brother used to borrow games from our local public library for our Wii U. And this was awesome. We got to try out a bunch of different things and find out what games we liked, like Angry Birds. But there was one game I remember picking up many times, and that game was Pikmin 3, as you probably could have guessed. I don't remember why we picked this game so much. If I'm being honest, when I was like 12, it doesn't really seem like a game I'd enjoy. But anyways, eventually we just got the game for real, because we rented it so much, so may as well own it. And then I remember like never playing it after that. Pretty tragic story. But with a good ending. I finally, in the big 2025, decided to pick up, restart, and completely finish the main campaign of Pikmin 3 for a number of reasons. First of all, the number one reason I did this, I got the Nendoroid Bulborb, and it's so awesome, so I wanted to actually be able to consider myself a Pikmin fan. Second of all, I might finally be able to relate to this Arlo guy, but in reality, I do think the Nintendo Switch era is the best era for Pikmin fans. This console literally has all 4 Pikmin games available to play on it. So now that I've played one and really enjoyed it, the door's wide open for me to play a ton more. But that's not what I'm discussing today. I know everyone is wondering, what was it like to finally play Pikmin in 2025? It was awesome, but also really stressful. This game bounces between peaceful, cute exploration, and then mass murder of your troops when you look away for 2 seconds. And somehow, both managed to be quite compelling. I honestly wasn't really expecting to get attached to these little guys. I mean, from a gameplay standpoint, there was no reason to be. Most of the time when I was playing this game, I had well over 100 of every single kind of Pikmin left in reserve inside the onion. So a few dying here and there wasn't a big deal, but it definitely felt like it was. I just feel bad for them sometimes. Like, most of the time when they died, I was just playing bad. I didn't see an enemy in their path, or I didn't realize they fell into water, and they trust you so blindly that it really is completely your fault. I finished the game with more Pikmin dead than Pikmin alive. Seriously? Oh my gosh, I'm bad at this game. So that was kind of a failure, but I do think that's what the game's meant to do to make it feel compelling. Despite me thinking I played the game very poorly, and I do think I did, it was still pretty easy for me. Really, the only part I struggled with was the final chase sequence before the final boss. But apart from that, it's not as difficult as I remember. I may have slightly lied when I said I don't remember anything about playing Pikmin when I was younger. I do remember me and my brother really struggling to find fruit in the main campaign. I think we stopped the campaign because we were at a point where we didn't know how to get any more fruit, and we were completely out, so if we played through the day, we'd just die every time. But playing it now, I genuinely have no clue how this happened. By the end of the game, with almost like never going extremely out of my way to collect fruit, I had over 30 juice can things left in reserve. There is so much fruit everywhere, like it's so easy to find. You can see it on your map, you get it from defeating strong enemies and bosses. Literally, I think it would be more of a challenge to run out of fruit. So yeah, the game is easy, and I think the only reason it was compelling to collect fruit and keep my Pikmin from dying is because I like them. I like the little Pikmin, and I like the crew of my spaceship. I did not want them to starve. Okay, that might actually be a lie though. There is more than just that for why the game was fun. Why else was the game compelling? It's fun. Exploring the world is just really fun. First of all, oh my god, how does a Wii U game look this good? It was like when I played Metroid Prime Remastered on my Switch. I was blown away that a game could look and sound that good for the Switch. And now here's the same thing, but for the Wii U. I really like the combination of a hyper-realistic world that I think is just supposed to be Earth in the future. I don't know. If anyone knows Pikmin lore, explain it to me. I have no idea. And super cartoony and cute enemies and Pikmin. It's a great contrast that makes for a super pleasing art style. And yeah, the graphics are great. But can we talk about the juice dispensing scene? Like, who decided that this had to be the most complex physics in the game that made the game feel like it was going to crash every time it happened? Sure, when you land on a planet, the frame rate drops quite a bit, but collect like 4 fruit and click skip on the fruit juicing cutscene, and your Wii U is going to explode. Just joking. kind of. It wasn't that bad, just thought it was kind of funny. Moving on from the graphics though, these levels are all designed in really fun ways. You have tons of shortcuts everywhere, lots of secrets and mini puzzles to solve as you are also dealing with enemies and making sure your Pikmin have a safe route back to the ship. Controlling the Pikmin almost feels like a mini RTS game, which is not my genre at all, but I think the way it's done here is just more my style. All different types of Pikmin have different advantages. Some are obvious, like being immune to a certain element, but others are a little bit more ambiguous, which made for some fun puzzle solving. Like yellow Pikmin being easier to throw higher, or yellow Pikmin being faster at digging, or pink Pikmin being able to fly, which just opens up a bunch of possibilities. It was fun to create a little army at the start of each day, and then swap between characters and swap between Pikmin within those characters, finding the most optimal way to explore the world and open up new opportunities for exploration the next day. Obviously, at this point, it should be clear to everyone I had a great time with Pikmin. But if there's one thing that I think would have improved my experience a lot, it's just a few basic settings to do with combat. Mainly, just please let me turn down the sensitivity. I think for pretty much the entire game, I was constantly battling with aiming my Pikmin. I don't know what was off with this, or if I was just bad, but like something with the depth perception and lock-on mechanic made it difficult for me to aim onto enemies, especially in intense moments, or when I had to switch targets really fast. I swear, this one enemy with these two eyeballs that you have to target that like pops out of the ground gave me the most grief out of any enemy in the game, just because I could not for the life of me lock onto one eye, throw Pikmin at that one, and then lock onto the other eye and throw Pikmin at that one. I don't even know if this is something that could be improved without like a mouse, which I guess the Switch 2 has, so maybe it's fixed. Not really the game's fault, I wouldn't say, but I would appreciate just some settings to mess with. But once I got over this struggle, or at least accepted that I couldn't do anything about it, combat was pretty fun. I do feel like my strategy against most enemies was just rush them with all my Pikmin at once when I can, so that was pretty fun. It was satisfying when it went well and chaotic when it did not. But I really enjoyed the bosses especially. They are the strongest enemies in the game, and they do pose a real threat of completely massacring your whole crew of Pikmin. Although I am so glad that the health of these guys carries over for the next day. For some reason, I expected this game to be really punishing, which I think is just a fact that it's a time-based game, which often have that attribute, but it's really not. Health bars of boss enemies stay the same, fruit stays wherever you left it, Pikmin don't have to be back at your ship, they just have to be in your party, which I somehow didn't know for embarrassingly long, but I do think the game could make this a little bit clearer. So yeah, taking all of these into consideration, it's a lot of the time a pretty relaxing and almost cozy experience, except for the final area, but we will get to that later. The art style and soundtrack especially get the game to feel even cozier. I really enjoyed the melancholy of the visuals and music at the end of the day. Despite what I just said, combat can be stressful, but being up in space is very nice. It's cool to have a summary of what you did that day, exactly how many Pikmin died, exactly how many you gained, when you got the fruit, even an entire little replay thing on your Wii U gamepad. Speaking of the Wii U, I think this is a great console for this game. Like, yeah, we all know the Wii U might not be regarded as the best Nintendo console, but it still holds a special place in my heart, and Pikmin really does show off its strengths. Having this map literally just like right there in your hands with all the information you need, like fruit locations and stray Pikmin locations, is a huge bonus when it comes to navigating the world. The Pikmin AI is pretty good, but there were a few times when I was moving too fast or went around a corner weird, I guess, and all of a sudden half of my Pikmin aren't in my party anymore and I have no idea where they went. I mean, I can just check my map to figure it out. Most of the time. I did have once where somehow literally like half of them fell into water and all drowned without me realizing. That was a sad day. Anyways, it was a cool feature. Big Wii U fan here. How about that final area I will finally talk about? Well, like I said, I didn't find this game too difficult except for this last chase sequence. And honestly, it wasn't even that hard. I just threw like 3 times in a row and had to restart the day entirely. Attempt number 1. I didn't understand the gimmick of the chase, and all of my Pikmin were stuck in the Plasm Wraith blob. And then I was like, oh shoot, How do I get them out? Too late, they all died because he turned gold. Attempt 2. I understood this better and made it to this room where I was picking up these bomb rock things when the blob now got Olimar. For some reason, this set off all the bombs and all my Pikmin blew up and died again. Attempt 3. I beat it. I guess I was lying, it was only twice I had to restart, but geez, it was pretty intense, believe me. And lastly, all I've talked about thus far is the main campaign, but there is a bingo battle and mission mode also included in Pikmin 3. I honestly didn't dabble with these as much this time around, but I do remember playing bingo battle against my brother when we first had the game. It is like the only competitive multiplayer option in the game, and these are just awesome features that really didn't have to be included. I think the standalone game is great by itself, but it's really neat that they did anyways. And I think that about sums up everything I have to say about my first experience with Pikmin. Pikmin 3 ended up being this weird blend of cozy exploration and absolute chaos management, but both managed to be really fun. This was just one of 4 games available in the series, and I think I definitely see myself playing some of the other ones in the future. So my Pikmin journey is far from over. If anyone watching is a Pikmin fan, could I please get some recommendations on which one to play next? I could just start at the beginning, but I don't know if that's like not a good idea, so just let me know. Anyways, thanks to everyone for watching. For my shoutouts in this video, user Psych537 wanted me to talk about what I think of the Game Awards this year, because the nominees have now been announced. So let's do a live voting from me. Start voting. Okay. Game of the Year. Honestly, of the past few years, I think this is probably like the most solid lineup for Game of the Years we've ever had. There is not a game here that I would be disappointed to see win Game of the Year. Although, if I'm also being honest, I actually have not played any of these games. Expedition 33, gonna win. Death Stranding 2, not my game. Donkey Kong, I want to play one day, but I'm not buying a Switch 2. Hades 2, I really like Hades 1. I have yet to play this one. Silksong is probably going to get my vote because I think it was probably the most impactful game to release this year. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is super cool that it got nominated. There's no chance it wins though. So Silksong. Best Game Direction. I don't know. Hades, because that's cool. Best Performance. I think this one is funny that it's 3 Expedition 33 people, but yeah, Troy Baker as Indiana Jones was wild. He gets that one. Best Community. Best Multiplayer. This Peak easily. If Peak doesn't win this, I will genuinely be upset. Best Adaptation. Genuinely? No, there's no way Minecraft Movie doesn't win. I will also be upset if this one doesn't win. Most anticipated game? It's gonna be GTA 6, I can guarantee that, but I vote Witcher 4. Content Creator of the Year. That's odd. I don't see myself on here. Sorry guys, that was a pretty corny one. Moist Critical. Overall, I think this year has been like super solid for games. I have yet to play like most of them because I usually wait until they're cheaper. But I think it's a great year for great games. So honestly, there's not a whole lot of categories that I'd be super upset with whoever wins. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a good show. If you'd like to get your Q&A or your shout out or whatever, become a member of my channel. Boom. Yeah. Thanks.